Louisiana All American Sports Show. 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 Louisiana. If the sports you wanna talk about, then listen to the hottest show that's coming out the south. It's Eric Hatfield and Coach Perry Daniels, man. They're gonna sit you down and tell you all about the game and make it plain. 96.9 FM, that's the station. To hear the best sports talk show in the nation. Without hesitation, you should get with this and get your popcorn ready, boy. You better not miss Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana All American Sports Show. Louisiana. It's Joker B. Check this out.
Ooh, I'm just so fresh, so clean. Good morning, Baton Rouge. It's another beautiful Saturday morning here, and it's the most wonderful time of the year. The holiday season is in full swing now, and you are sitting down listening to another edition of the Louisiana All American Sports Show. Or perhaps you're standing up, or perhaps you're, I don't know, taking a swim. Whatever you're doing, we're glad that you're with us this morning here on 96.9 FM WHYR Baton Rouge Community Radio. This is Eric Hatfield.
And I'm Gerard Piper, a.k.a. Joker P.
And I'm Coach Perry Daniels.
And we are ready for yet another. We got a very, very, very full menu today of sports as everything is going down.
Speaking of full, you're thinking about a full menu. We just went past Thanksgiving,
right?
And everything. Did you have any? What you ate? Pumpkin pie, sweet potato?
I had pecan pie. I had turkey, ham, macaroni and cheese. I filled up on all the starchy goodness that we associate with Turkey Day. But I did not pull back. I did not back up from the table.
I caught that, Joker.
Y'all are funny. Y'all are funny. Y'all are some characters. So, moving right along. Oh, boy. They'll be here all week, folks. Louisiana All American Sports. But we had a lot going. How was everybody's Thanksgiving?
Oh, man, I had a wonderful Thanksgiving, as usual, with the family and everything, and sat down and did the traditional thing, ate turkey and all that type stuff. But most of it was watch football.
Yep.
And we'll get to that here in a minute. How things went in the capital city, Coach?
Hey, man, we're not big on holidays in the family, so that's just not something that we do. And then compounded with that, we had the video being released of Jaquan McDonald, and it just sobering few days, man. Just a sobering few days.
Man.
I know we're going to get into that shortly, and just to let the listeners know, this isn't a typical Saturday on Louisiana All American Sports. Maybe it is typical at this point, but there are some far more important issues that have to be dealt with other than wins and losses. So we're going to address some of those issues throughout the show, because there just has to be some changes, man. This can't continue.
Absolutely.
Very well said.
So from the sublime back to the wins and losses, we of course delivered the Louisiana All American Sports Game of the Week last night. It was the Division IV state football semifinals between a team we've talked about a whole lot on this show for the last few years, and that is the Southern Lab Kittens. Southern Lag Jaguar Kittens is one of the assistants. Insisted. Sounds a little more macho.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that last night.
Yeah.
I was like, Kittens is something. The Southern Lab Kittens.
I was thinking of a ball of yarn getting batted around or something like that. So.
That's not going to have the team too afraid.
No,
much,
well, they should be very afraid, because once again,
Hold on. Let me just say, I couldn't help but when I came to Baton Rouge and went down to the bottom, and the first time I heard them yelling the mighty, mighty Kittens.
Like, wow! The mascot, that is
looking like the Meow Mix
the mighty, mighty Kittens.
What was that? What was that cat?
Like the badminton team.
In that cat food commercial, Mars or whatever, and he had like a British accent. That's always what comes to mind. But tell you what, you can laugh at the mascot all you want, but they're back in the championship. Southern Lab defeated Vermilion Catholic 34-12 last night. They had to go to Abbeville. Southern Lab was seeded 6th in Division 4. They went to second-seeded Vermilion Catholic in Abbeville. Great bunch of people, by the way. But look, they traded blows for a while in a game that was marred really less by achievement and more by mistakes. Penalties and turnovers absolutely ruled the first half of that day, and both teams went in to halftime. The score was 8-6, Southern Lab leading. Jonard Robinson, who was the Louisiana All American Sports Player of the Week, had 3 interceptions in the first half, and by the end of that first half, they just, Vermilion Catholic, the Screaming Eagles, abandoned the left side of the field because they weren't getting anything over there. He just owned the quarterback and read his eyes like Kojak. Southern Lab in the second half managed to pull it together. They took advantage of some turnovers, some good field position, and defeated Vermilion Catholic 34-12. So they will advance to the state championship game for the second consecutive year. Last year they lost pretty handily to Ouachita Christian. This year they will face 4th-seeded St. Mary's December 4th at 10 a.m. in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. And I have a gut feeling, just a feeling, even though they're seeded 6th and St. Mary's is seeded 4th, I think it might be a different year for Southern Lab. I think this might be the year they finally reach that pinnacle and take home a state championship.
Oh, man, we've been following Southern Lab since last year, and, of course, the progression of Bladrickville. You know, tell me about Bladrickville. Of course, I couldn't make the game last night, but I was here in studio, and I was listening up, man, and it seemed to me that this guy was maturing right before I...
He is. I mean, look, this young man is just, not too many seniors get to have 3 years of starting experience under their belt at the high school level, at any level, but he has. And Bladrick was, he made some pretty bad throws, a couple of bad throws in the first half that resulted in turnovers, but as far as his pocket presence, the way he commanded the huddle, he did get a couple of good touch passes down the field. You're just watching him develop into a legitimate quarterback. Then he's tall, he's about 6'6", he's quick on his feet, but he didn't have to run a whole lot. His pocket awareness has improved so much just watching him over the last 3 seasons, and he's really developed into quite a special player. He had some offers. I remember one of the assistant coaches mentioned a couple to me last night. I said it on the air, cannot remember. I should have written it down, but he is really developing into a legit football player. I hope he gets to play quarterback at the college level, but just his maturity and his presence and how good he is as a teammate is going to benefit any college program without a doubt.
Well, that's awesome. I want to congratulate the Southern Lab Jaguar Kittens, the Mighty Kittens, and because, going on the road, man, in this type of environment, they went on the road and went to Abbeville last night to play that team, and they were the lower seed, and to come out on top, shows me that they had the determination. They wanted it from losing it last year and having that taste already in their mouth. This year they came back more mature, and a first-year coach coming in. Hey, you got to give all props to those guys.
Absolutely. Coach Randall had to walk in. I mean, really behind a guy who helped, lift the program up to, a new level where they are expected to go to the Superdome and win, where the expectations were high. And he just picked right up where he left off. He did install some different offense. By the way, our player of the game, Jonard Robinson, will be calling in a few minutes. Just got a text from him, so we'll be efforting him. But, Coach Randall, you can tell he made some different wrinkles. For example, last year and the year before, I remember that they were playing the vast majority of their plays out of the shotgun. I'd say it was probably about half in the shotgun, half in the I formation, and even a couple of wishbone offensive packages. So they really, they were able to blend power and quickness into their game plan. I just think it's a great job that, first of all, the administration at Southern University Laboratory High School has done, and the coaching staffs, collectively between Coach Mitchell and now Coach Randall picking up that baton. They've just done a great job picking it up and keeping it going. So I think there's something really special going on over there. And that's just a nice bunch of kids for the most part, too. So couldn't happen to a better bunch of guys. And Mr. Robinson will be on very shortly to talk about that. Before we have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Robinson, might as well catch you guys up on some other action around the high school, around Louisiana and high school football playoffs. In Class 5A, the big boys, Mandeville, that delivered that shocking upset to Scotlandville last week, frankly pulled off the whooping stick on Landry Walker, who's been in the semifinals and finals, seems like almost every year. They will advance to the state semifinals. They defeated Landry Walker 31-14. John Ehret, of course, advanced last night, as did Parkway, and Zachary second seed Zachary defeated Hanville 55-27. So Zachary, who a lot of folks expected to go all the way, they will be in the state semifinals. In Division 1, the stage is set next week as the Rummel Raiders will face Baton Rouge's own Catholic High Bears. Catholic High defeated Evangel Christian in overtime, and Rummel thwarted John Curtis 24-10. So Catholic and Rummel will meet in the championship game December 4th, 8:30 p.m. in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Class 4A, Warren Easton advanced to the semifinals, defeating McDonough 27-26. Also in the semifinals, Carr, Neville, and Franklinton. In Division 2, Parkview Baptist pulled off a shocking upset of the defending Division 2 champion U-High Cubs, 41-28. A little gadget work there in the second half got them on top. They will face St. Thomas More in the championship game next Friday at 5 o'clock in the Superdome. In Class 3A, West Feliciana advanced, Meet advanced, St. James advanced, as did Letcher. In Division 3, Riverside will face Notre Dame in the championship game at 1:30 p.m. in the Superdome next week. Class 2A, the semifinalists, the semifinal matchups will be between Mangum, Pickering, Welsh, and Kinder. Those teams all advanced. Division 4, of course, we brought you Southern Lab defeating Vermilion Catholic. They will face St. Mary's, fourth-seeded St. Mary's, who defeated Ascension Episcopal 49-42. Ascension Episcopal was the top seed, so the Southern Lab Kittens are going to have their work cut out for them. Class 1A, the semifinalists are Arcadia, Haynesville, the Kentwood Kangaroos, the top seed in 1A, just blasted Logansport 67-32, and Oak Grove also advanced to the Class 1A semifinals. So that will catch us up on high school sports here in the area. Look, a lot of activity. We'll be keeping you up to date with updates from the action in the Superdome next week, and also Joker P will bring you our debut of the Hardwood on Louisiana All American Sports Day of the Week, as they will be out there against the Bruley. Will be at Bruley, as the Bruley Panthers will host Mentorship Academy. So we have a lot of exciting stuff going on here on 96.9 FM, WHYR, WHYR.org, brought to you by Louisiana All American Sports. So, I guess at this point, Coach, I know we're waiting on Mr. Robinson. Where would we like to steer this ship, or did y'all want to get in some commentary, or perhaps we should jump into the tough stuff? Y'all tell me which way to turn this bus.
Hey, we can go to the song of the week.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's
Okay.
congratulate all of our Baton Rouge kids that gave their heart and dedication to this football season, and we just appreciate what you all do on a weekly basis, day-to-day basis, going to practice and all, and getting your homework done and your academics, as well as entertaining us every Friday and Thursday night on the football field. We greatly appreciate you, high school athletes.
Very well said, and I want to second that. We had friends of this program like DJ White. I was kind of disappointed for him that they went down, but that's the nature of sports. We had a lot of celebrations here this year, had a lot of ups and downs. My alma mater, McKinley, didn't do so well this year, and so we're going to see what's going to happen going ahead. But at the end of the day, hey, it's been a hell of a ride. So now we're ready to go to basketball season.
Yes, sir.
But be that as it may, I got a new artist. Actually, he's from Baton Rouge. He resides out of New Orleans now. That's kind of like where he has his head camp now, and I want y'all to check out this song. It's called J50 and Wheezy.
Then when somebody gets shot, it's such a problem. That same media is now saying we should stop the violence. Ancestors of ours are screaming from the grave, cause physically we free, but we still some mental slaves. Ancestors of ours are screaming from the grave, cause physically we free, but we still some mental slaves. So what y'all think?
Yeah, what you think?
Oh, that was. Look, I was jamming in here. We were streaming online. You didn't even have to ask. That was off the hook. That was tight. I'm going to download that as soon as I get out.
And that brother is from here. He's from Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, most definitely.
No, that was awesome.
Check him out.
extremely talented young man.
Yes, indeed. Very, very lyrical, and you know, I liked how he, you know, because a lot of the music now, we want the music to be conscious. You know, I'm on a conscious tip and uplifting our people and everything, but at the same time, the music got to be hot.
Right.
You know, and a lot of it has to be good in order to catch their ear first. You know, and I like how he went in. You know, with referring to the Lil Wayne and the Jay-Z and everything, and he went in, and then he was able to kind of draw you in, flip it, and give his real message. So that was cool. That was what's up.
Coach, real quick, our guest tried to call you, said he couldn't get through. I just texted you his number if you want to try to call him on three-way. So Jonard Robinson.
Okay, so you guys go to college. I see I missed him. I'll get him on right now.
Okay, all right, fantastic. So look, we got.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff going on in this college, man. This week, man, we talk about Les Miles. We can go on and on. We got big games today. Actually, at 12 o'clock we had a big game with Ohio State, Michigan.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of action going on.
We got a lot going on today.
But first, you know, we got. Let's talk about. We were talking about the Jaguar kittens, and now let's talk about the grown Jaguars.
You know what it is. No.
So the Southern University Jaguars face their in-state arch rival, Grambling State Tigers, and it's going to be a battle of some felines. At least I know that there's some cats from Louisiana that are definitely going to win today, one way or the other.
Yes, indeed, man.
This is an interesting matchup, Joker, because in some ways it's an exhibition because it's not going to have any impact one way or the other on postseason play. In other words, the Grambling Tigers have long since punched their ticket,
right?
Or a couple of weeks ago punched their ticket to the SWAC championship game in Houston. Southern, with that drubbing they took at the hands of Alcorn State, was pretty much eliminated from any possibility of advancing in the postseason. But yet, you know, you can throw the records out of the window, and the pride will be on display today. And frankly, Grambling is fighting for an undefeated record in the SWAC. So it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. As Southern and Grambling get ready to meet in the Bayou Classic. I got to tell you, I think it's an opportunity. Southern would love to put this notch under their belt because they took a couple of tough losses this year. They took a couple on the chin, quite frankly. At the same token, how would Grambling like to go into the SWAC championship with that big goose egg in the loss column? So I think it's going to be great. It's going to be on NBC Sports. It is worth watching. But boy, I got to tell you, as far as what I expect to see on the field, I said you could throw the records out of the window, but it's hard to ignore that 0 in the loss column. And I don't know if Perry's still on hold, but I got to favor the Grambling Tigers in this game today.
You're going with Grambling.
I got to go with Grambling. Yeah.
Bayou Classic. Wow. You know, this is that time of the year. You know, you can throw both of the records. You know, out of them. You can just get rid of those. I don't care if Southern didn't win a game this year. Mm-hmm. This game right here. You see this game right here?
Right here.
This right here? This game today. Wow. Grambling, man. They've been pretty good all year. And I know Professor is down there cutting up. Professor, I was waiting on you to call in, which the brother of Professor Terrell Johnson.
Man. Waiting on him to call.
I was waiting on T to call in. I really waiting on him because I'm going with Southern in this game. I'm going with Southern in this game because it's just something about Bayou Classic, especially in the last few years. Grambling came in last year and was the favorite last year.
That's true.
I'm going with Southern.
You know what, man? This is going to be an excellent football game. And, two of the most talented athletes that I've ever coached, one of them will decide this game. And I'm not sure if it's going to be the all-time Southern University rushing leader, Leonard Tillery for Southern University, or if it is going to be this year's receiving leader for the Grambling State Tigers, Chad Williams. It's just going to be a very entertaining game.
I'm excited.
I am going to say this, that both are highly motivated. Southern has an opportunity to prove that this year isn't a waste. Mm-hmm. Grambling has an opportunity to prove that last year was a bit of a fluke. and because they should have won that game as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They're seeking revenge. I'm just going to say this, and I don't do this very often. I just think that the
Do you sure you want to do this, Coach? Before you, do you want to take a second to think about what you're getting ready to do?
Well, I'm going to go this route. I think the will of Chad Williams will be too much. Let me quick story while he was being recruited. So after Chad Williams signed with Grambling, offensive coordinator for Southern University, Chad Germany, came to me and he asked about Chad. He didn't realize Chad had been signed. And when I told him that Chad had committed to Grambling State University, he looked me in my eye and he said, he's going to kill us in the Bayou Classic.
Really?
So, I think that Southern University offensive coordinator was right.
Tell you what, and Chad's game is
happen today.
And his game has gotten better and better every single year. And, really, the Bayou Classic, like Joker said, you can throw the records out of the window because that's the money game. And I'll tell you what Coach Dawson Odoms has to say about that.
What about the money?
Playing with my money is like playing with my emotion.
So I know Coach Odoms is going to be motivated today to come out there and try to put a 1 in that loss column for Grambling State University. Perry, were we able to get our guest on the line?
He is here.
All right, so we have with us the Louisiana All American Sports player of the game in the Division IV state semifinals. We have a cornerback and punter, Jonard Robinson. Thank you for joining us this morning, Jonard.
All right, man. Get this man an applause. Let's give him an applause real quick.
Oh, yeah, we definitely.
Hold on, young brother. We got you. we got you. We got to bring you in right. This is how we do on the Louisiana All American show. Mr. Robinson, once again. Yes, indeed.
Jonard had 3 interceptions in the first half last night. He also, as those of you that listen to the show regularly know, an area near and dear to my heart is special teams. He's also a punter, and a couple of times definitely kept his defense in favorable field position. But one heck of a game last night. As I mentioned at the top of the hour, he pretty much took the left side of the field away from Vermilion Catholic and was, in my opinion, the biggest part of that win. So, look, thank you very much for joining us this morning. How's it feel now going back to the Superdome with a chance to try to, take back what's yours, after last year?
It's a blessing, for us to have a chance to come back and redeem ourselves. As seniors, we fell short as juniors last year, but I feel like we got a lot to strive for this year, and we got a point to prove.
You all are kind of a unique team for a high school football team because you have, yourself, you have Darbion Prophet, you have Bladrick Veal, you have Kirtland Williams, you have Pat Green. All of y'all been playing together for at least 3 years. That's very rare at the high school level to have that much cohesiveness. Can you talk about how do you see any difference, maybe an advantage that you might have because you all have been playing together for so long?
Yeah, by us playing so long together, we had time to build our team camaraderie. We had chances to learn each other more and find out each other's strengths and weaknesses and work on that. So I'll be able to balance off any one of their weaknesses using my strengths, So it's really nice playing with those guys. They really work me at practice. Receivers such as Kirtland Williams, Travis Abraham, Xavier Bell. I can go on and on, but it's a blessing to have teammates like that.
Yes, indeed, man.
Jonard. Go ahead, Joe.
I just wanted to ask that, was it an easy transition by you guys having a first-year coach from having Coach Mitchell there last year? Was it an easy transition?
It was pretty easy. Yeah, it was pretty easy because we all put our heads together. We all came to a meeting. It was a players-only meeting, and we talked to each other. So we have younger cats on the team, and they was crying. It was sad, but we told them, the coach can't come on the field and play for us. It's always up to us. The only thing they can do is give us the play. We got to make it work. So, everybody came together, and we sorted everything out, and we just won ball. We won win.
That is so awesome, man. That shows a lot of maturity, and that explains why you are playing for the state championship. tell me this. What were some of the major differences between the two coaches? What were some of the things that you all had to adjust to?
It wasn't too much different. You know, they both laid back, cool coaches, but they, you know, they get their point across. They both pretty similar to me. It's just the offense we ran was a little different. You know, this year we want to run the ball more than we throw the ball, but we got some pretty good receivers, so don't be psyched about it if you think we're going to run the ball the whole game. So.
Okay. All right. So, look, man, you know, we're past our high school segment. We really appreciate you joining us. Are you hanging around for the entire show?
I mean, I can.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, man.
Fantastic.
You're welcome to.
First things first, that we need a winner. Who you're going with for the Bayou Classic?
Oh, I'm going with Seth. I'm going with the big brother.
All right.
Good pick on this show.
Right.
Yeah, you know which campus you go to school.
That's right. Right. He would have said Grambling, boy, look.
Ooh, Coach, I forgot to tell you. Now, Coach Randall informed me, Jonard, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm getting a little older, my memory gets hazy, but Jonard has been offered a scholarship to play ball at Tulane University next year. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So we got.
Give him one more applause before he go.
You know,
yeah, we'll give you a hand with real one this time.
That's something else. I mean, I know that means not only is he handling, we can see him handling his business on the field, been doing so for a couple of years, but you get to Tulane, they don't just let anybody up in there. So
right, man.
Congratulations on that.
You keep striding. You keep striding for.
Thank you so much. 3.0.
Okay, and ACT?
I haven't taken it again, but my first time it was a 19. But I've been practicing, so I'm ready.
Right.
Good.
That's what's up,
All
man.
right, so also, man, I'm glad you're going to stick around. We're going to get into some real social issues. That's one of the things that we do here on Louisiana All American Sports. I'm not sure how familiar you are with our program, our Saturday program. A lot of the high school kids are very familiar with our Friday night program. So just to give you a heads up on that. So sit back, here we go. We're going to jump right across town to what may be the end of an era coming up today. Eric?
Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Yeah, y'all keep on telling the folks, though, what they can expect to see, though.
Okay, so with that delay, this could possibly be the very last game of the Mad Hatter down in Death Valley. And it is going to be extremely interesting to see how this whole scenario plays out. We have the returning to Death Valley of Coach Chambers.
Right.
Texas A&M being the defensive coordinator, former LSU defensive coordinator the past few years, who at the end of last season transitioned to Texas A&M for what he felt was adequate pay for his skill level. And it's just going to be, there are a whole lot of dynamics going on in Tiger Stadium today.
There are, and well, look, let's just boy. Well, the man of the hour, though, the man that's on the hot seat. Well, I think Perry picked out some very inspirational music. Might be one of the last times you hear this on Louisiana All American Sports. Yeah, so what if he's crazy? Some of the best people are, and that illustrates my opinion of the man, Coach Les Miles, who, again, we have not heard any official announcements, but if you've been watching college sports enough, reading the tea leaves, it ain't looking good for the Mad Hatter, man. And, this is a guy, Colin Cowherd's a nationally syndicated ESPN host, and sometimes I agree with him, sometimes I don't, but his opinions always are thought-provoking, and he always did a section, Colin was right, Colin was wrong. Well, this one time, Colin tweeted something out that I think he was absolutely right. So Les Miles, over 11 seasons, has won 77% of his games, and now he doesn't know how to coach. Okay, tell me another one. That was pretty much what he said, and I couldn't agree with that more. As Coach Miles, we've had a mob mentality in Baton Rouge for quite some time since Miles has been here. Nick Saban spoiled us. Les Miles kept it going a little bit, and now we're in a little bit of a valley. They're ready to run the man out of town. So I've made my opinion very, very clear on that, and I'm just kind of trying to restrain myself a little bit because I think it's a very, very bad decision that appears to be right around the corner by the LSU administration. And you know what? You lay with dogs, you get fleas, and I get the feeling that there's the decision making is a little questionable here, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. You know, I mean, this is Baton Rouge, and this topic is you know, it's like to the extreme. Is either you actually think he should stay or you think he should go. You know, and I think that I'm all about change, and I know change is hard. You know, when you get used to someone for a long time, you know, it's hard to see something different because he's been there for so long. But I can see LSU has the #1 recruiting class in 2016 coming in. So Les Miles does an excellent job at recruiting. But when you look at LSU and look at the other big-name teams, it looks like their offense, and Kirk Herbstreit, and they talked about this today on game day, their offense looks like it's 2012 or it's not up to date, it's not the spread, which it don't have to be, but even just if it was just an I formation running team, that still looks prehistoric, and it's like you have to either come with a new coordinator or whatever, but that's just my opinion on the subject and everything, and it's just crazy how sometimes, you know.
What in the world?
Do not attempt to adjust your radio. There's nothing wrong. We have taken control as to bring you this special show. We will return it to you as soon as you are grooving. Welcome to station WEFUNK, better known have no fear. I come in peace. Not like those people that wear those outfits with weapons around their waist and drive those autos with lights on top of them.
Oh, what you mean, the police?
They seem to really enjoy stopping the beautiful people that are dark like you.
Like me? Oh, you mean people of color?
Yeah. But I noticed that everyone on your planet isn't that attractive. There are some that are this peculiar pale with really funny looking straight hair.
Yo.
Coach?
Yeah, I just needed to explain to Gerard what was going on. So that's a segment that we're doing, Gerard, a little skit. So just hold tight. It's going to finish in just a moment, but I wanted to explain to you what was happening.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, sit tight, yo.
All right, let's go back.
You wanted to say something?
What is it, Earth? Earth Nebula? Why do those people control all of those buildings where your currency is handed out?
Oh, you mean the banks?
Why do they control all of those transmissions that come out of those black square shaped things you keep in that place you dwell?
Square things. Oh, I think you mean television. You mean a television, right? TV.
TV? It seems like they even control those groups that you all talk about every 7 increment on this transmission.
Well, you know, they do most of their own professional sports teams. They own most of them.
Why are you people so attached to those teams? I hear you being saying such things as we and my when they are doing well. Most of the time you have done nothing to contribute to their success. You watch your TV and you scream and shout and you sometimes cry.
And sometimes
all that emotion, will work to assist the team. Thanks to
Like I said, you mean Earth.
What is this thing called Earth? Nebula. I must know now.
Wait a minute. What's your name? Where you from?
I am parts of the galaxy unknown to your kind. I am the long-haired sucker. Didn't you hear my intro? Pay attention. I drop back in on you when I have some more questions, Joker.
Joker.
I'll be listening to this transmission every 7 increments. Tell that Hatfield fella that the crazy guy in purple and gold that always wears a
Oh no. There we go.
They almost.
know now. Silly mortals. Purple and gold that always wears a hat has to find a new place to dwell. Thanks to people like you. Silly mortals.
So, big top story, huh?
It's a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live here.
Man. Hey, what was that, man?
Silly mortals.
Hey.
That alien sounds familiar.
Hey, man, what happened? They just took over the station for a second.
Well, I was trying to talk to y'all and y'all couldn't hear me. What happened?
I mean, 96.9 is
some guy, long-haired sucker.
it's a terrestrial radio station. All of a sudden, it went extraterrestrial. That was wow. Well, that was an interesting. Perry, I think you might have some kin on other planets, though, man. He started taking your catchphrases.
Wow.
Wow.
So look, man, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to get Jonard's opinion on what took place. I mean, on who he thinks, what he thinks about the Les Miles situation.
Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead, Jonard.
That's crazy to me. I think he should have stayed. I think he should have stayed and redeemed himself. You know, everybody had bad seasons. You know, I think he should stay. That's my opinion.
Okay, and talk to me about a winner today. Who do you think is going to win today's game between LSU and Arkansas?
Texas A&M.
I feel like LSU gonna win. Win. Hey, I'm not going against the grain.
That's a smart young man, ain't it?
Hey, you know, look, yeah, Texas A&M, LSU, I actually think in spite of all the turmoil they're having right now, the game is ultimately played on the field, and I just don't think Texas A&M has the front seven to stop any of LSU's running backs. That in and of itself should be enough. I do think this team, they really love their coach, and they're going to probably rally to him and play their best. But on the field, I don't even think A&M has what it takes to stop LSU, so I do think the Tigers win one for the old Hatter today.
I'm picking Texas A&M today. LSU is in a free fall. Their team is in a little bit of disarray. It makes sense, though, that they would come together in this last game to play for Les Miles and carry him out on their shoulders just to show solidarity for him. Mm-hmm. But to me, I think it's more going to be a revenge with John Chavis, with the defensive coordinator, knowing LSU and knowing game planning against them. So I see his game plan, beating out the emotion of the players. So I'm going to go with Texas A&M.
Coach?
Wow. LSU.
LSU.
So we got 3 LSUs, 1 Texas A&M, and Jonard, one thing we do on this show is we record this stuff, and then the next week we play it back with our bold predictions, and we see who was right and who was wrong. And I guess it's about that time of the week for our regular segment called I Told You So. So listen up, you might be hearing yourself again this time next week.
Yeah, boy.
And 3, 2, and 1.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
Been laid. Put 8 in the box, stop Leonard Fournette. They make them pass in order to beat you. And it's working. Ole Miss is going to do it today. I'm going to have to go with Ole Miss. I'm choosing Ole Miss.
Dude, Joseph, who are you going to take today? So I'm taking LSU.
As I do think with them playing in Oxford and I'm picking Ole Miss, and that's that. And but yeah. So, guys,
I respect you.
I'm going to say that the Tigers are going to rally behind Coach Les Miles, and they are going to play inspired football this weekend, and they're going to pull out the victory over the Rebels.
What is that? Is that full?
To have a heart attack.
I'm doing the Red Fox. It's the big. Michigan State, Ohio State. Big game. 2 top 10 teams. Also going to be at 2:30 Central Time on ABC. And Ohio, I think Ohio State's just a notch above.
No.
Like a Michael Jackson game. Not that so much as who is it? You remember that song? I'm gonna have to go with Urban Meyer. I can't go against Urban Meyer, so I'm going with Ohio. Wow.
So Joseph has Michigan State. Okay.
Great job.
So, I was on the fence on this game, but Joseph just kind of pushed me over to the Spartan side. So I'm going to go with Michigan State as well.
Real quick, we have a big game coming up. The Cincinnati Bengals and the Arizona Cardinals. That's on Sunday Night Football. I actually queued up the wrong music. That game is in the desert. I think Andy Dalton might have been exposed just a little bit against the Houston Texans. I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with the clean bird, the Arizona Cardinals.
I'm going to Arizona.
Cardinals.
Joseph.
Cardinals.
And injuries are catching up with the Packers. I'm going to go with Teddy Bridgewater and the hometown Vikings, the host Vikings tomorrow afternoon.
Adrian Peterson will put a beating on him. I mean, not a beating.
Rip.
Minnesota.
Coach?
Yes,
Joseph.
Vikings.
We talked about Ohio, Cincinnati, and Green Bay, and Minnesota. We talked about a lot of stuff going on in the Midwest on the field, but there's also been a lot of stuff going on in the Midwest in the streets. Isn't that right, Coach?
Absolutely. So, just so you know, Jonard, last week we had Joseph from Mandeville on. That was his voice, other than mine, Joker, and Eric's that you heard. So next week, we're going to play back your picks like we do every week in our I Told You So segment. Okay, so just to give you a heads up on that. So, and as most of our listening audience knows, the videotape was released of Officer Jason Van Dyke shooting a young man by the name of Jaquan McDonald, and in the middle of the street 16 times, was about to reload when his fellow officer stopped him and explained to him that the young man was dead already and there was no need to reload. And now, 13 months later, after the man, Jason Van Dyke, has been on desk duty, receiving a paycheck all of this time.
Wow.
The judge in the case, after being sued by a independent media correspondent, sued in the name of the Freedom of Information Act, and demanded that the videotape be released. So the judge complied with the lawsuit, demanded that the videotape be released, and that is what we saw this past week, that actual tape of that street execution. So, where do we go from here?
Where do we?
How did we get here?
Wow.
Get here. And here's what the whole scenario and incident begs inquiry from me. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? For years we've talked about how the violence in Chicago is out of control. Is this a result of the way that the police handle the community in Chicago. You would have to imagine that the law enforcement sets the tone for the criminal activity and the engagement with criminal activity in the community. There are some that take a separate position and say that it is the criminal activity that sets the tone, and the law enforcement is a reaction of that. We as a society, when I look at Robert Louis Deere, gentleman last night who stormed a Planned Parenthood facility in Colorado Springs, Colorado last night, shot a police officer, killed a police officer, killed 2 other people, shot 5 different officers and 4 different civilians, and walked out alive after a 5-hour negotiation with him. There is something extremely wrong with the 2 scenarios.
Wow.
And the way that they were resolved.
Man, it's just, this thing's just, man, it's just, like you said, it just, when you hear it now, it's almost like, with me, when I saw that video, I was just, number one, I was happy it didn't have audio.
Right.
Because, it just would have added another element, not only just looking at the video, but if I would have been able to hear the shots and stuff like that. Now, I've only watched it one time, I refuse to watch it again, but this thing stinks this thing goes deep. This is a cover-up, and this actually shows you that department has no value of a person's life, and for a 17-year-old kid, so I blame not only the mayor, and I think he's going to be protected by Obama when this comes out, because he left the Obama administration to become the mayor of Chicago, and this happened on his watch, and he knew. They saw this tape a year ago.
Exactly. And
now they're just not coming out, from the DA, from the cops that was on the scene with this guy. If me and Perry of us, went and I've sat there and watched you commit a crime, and then I went and actually helped you destroy the evidence, like some of the cops went to the Burger King across the street to get the videotape and took the tape, and tampered with evidence. Now no one knows where the tape is, or, they erased some footage from the tape. That's basically, you're an accessory to murder.
After the fact, that's right.
You're accessory after the fact. Right. You went with them, all the people that just stood around and said nothing. So, they got this cop, and I think they pretty much almost overcharged him. Because if they don't have the other charges to go along the jury, if they don't have first degree, second degree, manslaughter, involuntary, he's charged with first degree murder. They're going to have to prove first degree murder.
That's not easy to prove for anybody.
That's not easy to prove.
Let alone a cop.
Exactly, for a cop to say it's premeditated. Right. You feel what I'm saying?
I do.
So, I don't know. It's just a lot of things that just real, it just smells of this case. And also, Jamar Clark, the guy that got shot in Minneapolis, another case, same thing. And it's just, from what I'm seeing, it's just like, Perry asked a good question. Is it the product of the environment, or is it, or is it vice versa?
Right.
I think it's a little bit of both, but I mostly think that it's the environment. I think that the environment creates the product, and so I will go with that. But it's just the way that the police structure is set up. See, we don't have any trust of the police.
They're not helping.
They're not helping, because when you grow up and you see it on TV, you grow up. The police is really like a federalized gang. So it's like, I'm not trying to get along with them. When police approach you, they coming at you confrontational. They're not coming at you, and it's been this way. They have to be that way, because they look at it like we have to be tough. Right. And so it's a confrontational thing. So it is going to never be a peaceful thing between police and and the good police are not stepping out. They're letting the bad ones, because they got the code of conduct.
Right.
So there are quote unquote good police out there. Yeah, that runs deep. That overrides the morality.
Right.
So I can say, oh yeah, I'm a good cop and this and that. But if you standing by and you're letting things happen in your department,
you're not part of the solution.
You're not part of the solution. So, I have to look at you as a bad cop too, even though you may be a good person. When they had the police officer Christopher Dorner, and he was a police officer, and he started seeing corruption, and they was beating people and stuff. And he went back and reported it. And you know what they did? They turned it around on him and fired him. And then he retaliated and killed a few of them, and they ended up killing him, in the fire or whatever.
That's gang stuff, man.
But this Chicago stuff is really, really, man, it just send a message to me that, because this just like one road cop. This everybody was complicit from top to bottom, and that's what makes this thing stinks. And we know the reputation of Chicago all the way back to Al Capone, so we don't have to go there.
No,
and that's my opinion of it, man. It sickens me.
You know what, Joker? Though it's not just the officers on the scene. It's us as a society.
It's us too. That's right.
We're not going to stand up and say and demand that this stop. Demand that. I use the Colorado situation and Robert Louis Deere as an example of how things should have resolved with Jaquan McDonald.
Right.
That was proper policing in Colorado.
That's right.
He said he deserves a day in court. We know that he killed an officer. But none of those officers are today saying that they feared for their life.
They should have. Shoot. Real quick, folks. Go ahead, Perry.
Well, no, I know you've got to get in the promo for. Go ahead.
Oh, coming up in 3 minutes, we have
Noel Jackson with Music Satisfaction
here on 96.9 FM WHYR LP Baton Rouge Community Radio. No, I'm just nodding along with what you're saying about that Colorado Springs situation. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's great policing. So, look, man, I watched. Went to a play last night. And we talked about in the play they were speaking of the Rwanda situation and how 10 million Africans were killed in Rwanda prior to the battle between the Hutu and the Tutsis. From 1865 to 1908, Leopold II ruled the Congo. And I've just crossed two stories. Emotion is getting the best of me here. But Leopold II ruled the Congo. And you know what what made the rest of the world realize what was going on in the Congo, Joker?
What's that?
The development of the camera.
Wow.
He could no longer deny the atrocities that were going on.
Wow.
So I say to our listeners, the citizens of the United States, and anyone else that'll listen, that how much longer are we going to allow these atrocities to go on now that we have them on camera? See, it's one thing. This is the difference with the Jamar Clark situation. There was no videotape.
Right.
So now the police are the only story. It's the official report. Where else do we allow the accused to provide the official report?
Wow.
And their official report is that, well, this young man, Jamar Clark, he had beat up his girlfriend, he had intimidated the paramedic, he had taken control of an officer's weapon, so we had to kill him. Well, okay, we're accepting that, but however, could that have been a different story if there was a videotape?
Most definitely.
Oops is not an excuse for killing somebody. We got
stand up.
30 seconds left, folks. All I'll say is go Tigers, go Saints. I'll hold my breath and hope for the best, and hopefully we don't have too many more of these stories coming up. I'm afraid I'll be disappointed, though.
Stand up, everybody. I've had enough. And also, I want to give another shout-out to D1. I got a text from my boy Silker Slim and say D1 if he appreciated the love and everything. Most definitely, man.
Hey, Slim, I saw you on one of his videotapes, man. Slim is actually in one of D1's videos.
Really?
And Robinson, we're going to have to bring you back. I know we really dealt with some issues that just were timely and we have to deal with today. But we want to give you your just due, man. Good luck to the kittens in the Superdome next week. And we'll have you back on the show, I guarantee you that.
Most definitely, man. Tell us about that state championship. Go kittens.
Thank you. ADT, JNS, love you.
Have a good afternoon. You know what?
the King and Lords of Lords. May He protect us from the evil. Hail to the King, Lords of Lords. May He protect us from evil.